Everybody, let's get right into snow talk for the day today, and several things to talk about. First off, let's look at the snowboard, and we technically did not have measurable snow over the weekend. I know at my house, I would say close to 1/10 of an inch. I mean, let me take it back. More like a few hundredths of an inch is what I should really say. It wasn't a whole lot of snow, but technically it went down as a trace, which, you know, some of you certainly got more than that, but either way, it'll go down to 0 technically because it's not considered measurable snow at the airport. So yes, we are running behind this year, but we have several chances to talk about as we move ahead. First off, we've got the visible on, since they're moving, and they're in the process of moving our GOES 16 satellite, the one everyone's been so excited about. We've been showing a lot of it since the early summer. They're moving it to a different orbit right now, so as it's being moved, they shut down access to it, so we're having to go back to the backup satellite, so they're not as great looking. Hopefully here in the next few days we'll get GOES 16 back online and get some good images. But you can see some of the mid-level clouds that are kind of streaming in right now across the southern areas of Indiana. Every airport site's coming in the clear sky, but all you gotta do is look at the cameras until it's not perfectly clear out, which is kind of messing with my forecast here today on this sunshine intake. But these will pass on through and fade out off and on today, so it's going to be a peekaboo sunshine. Here's our clipper, though. It is moving in. It's got a nice little dig to it. It's going to keep digging and digging and digging and digging and digging, and then it'll round the base of the trough and move out. Now, typically, when you have clippers, you want to be within 50 to 100 miles north of that track, and that is where you will get then your accumulating snow potential out of that, and it's going to be light. So again, it's to our north. So we do have a chance to get some snow with the cold front part of that, the little arc here that'll pass through here overnight tonight. Once it passes by, then we get the wind direction more out of the northwest. And the angle of the wind so far showing up in the models is sharp enough of a northwest to southeast angle that it's going to be a feeder band off of Lake Michigan that's going to aim more towards Cincinnati and the bluegrass area of Kentucky potentially. But it does not look to be a more north wind, which would send that all the way down to our area, which has happened many times. It does happen in wintertime, but in this case I think the angles will be too sharp for us to get much after it. So whatever we get late tonight, early tomorrow morning should be it, and then things will calm down after that. I think the wind chill is a bigger story. Let me show you the one of the model ideas, and they all kind of vary a little bit. You can see the front moving in, some moisture with it, 4 or 5 o'clock, but the problem we have here with this, it's not so much the amount, it's the timing. We saw what happened on Saturday. It only took a dusting to, in some cases, about a ½ inch that fell, and that could certainly cause a bigger problem when you get to a ½ inch or more. I remember being in middle school and JCPS had closed school here because of a ½ inch of snow, because it hit right at the point of rush. And that can happen, but I don't think we're looking at a ½ inch here. I think we're looking more at trace amounts, but even that could cause a problem. Now, to add insult to injury, there's a chance we could see some freezing drizzle with some of this, which I'll get to in a second. Any amount of that is a problem. So there's a lot to monitor when it comes to the travel impacts for tomorrow. If we can get some of this stuff to happen before 5 or 6 a.m., the roads can get treated, and I think we'll be all right. If it waits till during that 4 to 6 window, then we may have problems, or if it waits till after, I think we'll be okay as well. So it's a very narrow window here of problems that could develop, and it's too iffy to see how this will play out. So just stay tuned. Ryan will have more later today, and of course we'll be evaluating things tonight, and we'll be here tomorrow morning to get you through it, let you know how it still looks. Having said that, it does pass on by. You see the little snow squalls and snow showers. There's that feeder band coming off of Lake Michigan. See that very well there. Cold and blustery day, though. Those snow squalls, those winds will be howling. Wind chills, I'll show you in a second, will be quite low. And look at that band. I mean, it holds on for a while all the way through Ohio, and that could put down 1 to 3 inches of snow in some spots. So some folks will get a lucky little band of snow tomorrow. Good for them. All right, here's the latest look at our sounding, and here's the issue we have for the freeze and drizzle. This is where your snowflakes begin to take shape, and they develop, basically. You got to get the crystals to form the snowflake or the dendrites, and then the snowflake reaches the ground and does whatever it wants to do from there. We are losing it, that ability to hold them on to where they create the little crystals and become the dendrite or the snowflake. That ability is not entirely there as what I would like to see it. I know, I apologize, the banner says rainbow. This is not a rainbow. Sorry about that, Lee. I forgot to take that off of there. Anyway, but we are saturating the lower layers. The reason why it doesn't say freeze and drizzle listed here is because the temperature, the red line, is just to the 0 right degrees of Celsius, so right at the point of like 33 degrees. Anyway, the point is on this, we've got to figure out, is this reality? We're only trusting model ideas here that we'll have some dry air to keep the crystals from forming, and therefore we're talking about a freezing drizzle scenario. I think it may be both. I think we may have some freezing drizzle, I think we may have some snowflakes. It'll be a mix, but not a lot of it. Not a lot. Look how dry the column is all the way up. I mean, this is a very weak system when it comes to the amount of moisture it has moving through here. All right, so having said that, I'm going to go for now, and I'll adjust this as the midday data rolls in. Generally, a dusting potential for just about everybody. Dusting potential. I know this is less than an inch, but it would be that, a dusting. Anywhere in the blue, I think you may get caught underneath one of those snow bands, and you may get some upslope of the winds producing some snow showers in southeast Kentucky. It could give you guys, too, a few inches of snow, not even associated with that feeder band. So, another minor event, guys. I think the big issue is going to be the temperature, and this is going by really, really fast. I apologize. I can't backtrack it, but anyway, temperatures will be in the 20s for a lot of us. We may get about freezing in the afternoon tomorrow, but wind chills will be in the teens and single digits as we tomorrow evening. So tomorrow, the point of that is going to be a blustery day. The snow is not going to be a big story, although it always is a big story around here. I think it's the wind chill is going to be the big story. Okay, now let's move on. First off, here's the Euro. And here's the issue we're looking at for the rest of the week. Because the system moves out of here tomorrow, as you see here, moving on out. This is the temperatures aloft in the precip here. Then as we advance into Wednesday, we've got another vort, and here's how this is going to play out. This low is going to dig in from the north. Let me change my wand color so you guys can see it a little better. I apologize. Okay, there we go. This is going to dig in to the south, and the thing is it's going to become more east-west oriented as it dives in. It's going to come in like a surfboard, kind of like ride the wave, if you will, kind of crashing into us. As that happens, there will be a little bit of a bump of warmer air. So that's why this may not be entirely snow as it crashes in. But here's the question. Is that going to continue to do that little, I guess you'd say a loopy-loop, as it digs in, and then try to connect to more of a low off the eastern seaboard and become a bigger system, which can then really throw in some cold air on us on Friday with some snow showers. So how this wave enters and exits is kind of debatable from Wednesday into Friday. It doesn't look like to be a lot, but it has room here for some changes, so I want to at least bring your attention to it. Now, the Euro's not too excited about the phasing ideas it passes through, but it's possible, and then we pull out of that, and then we get into a warming trend. The weak system over the weekend, it's going with rain here for the weekend before we get into a bigger warm-up, which leads us into Christmas week, which I'll get to that in a second. Here's the GFS. It's got the Tuesday system, lake effect snow. Now, it tries to see as the wave digs, the leading edge of that may try to spit out a little batch of light rain or snow in our area Thursday or Wednesday evening. Not sold on that yet. Either way, it does dig, and you see it's trying to show a little more of a connection here between the low, the vort over us, and then a low off the eastern coast. It's transfer of energy, if you will, kind of a digging connection process. That's possible. I'm not discounting the GFS on that. I'd like to see a little more support from the other models, but that's not surprising, even this far out, to not see it. It moves out, and it's a little more robust with a warming trend for the weekend with a rain event that moves by, and then we also set up the stage for the warming trend for the week, Christmas week. So here's that setup, though, for Wednesday through Friday. Notice the models overall show that digging process will happen. See, the GFS has got the second low transferring out, and the Euro does not. So, and neither does Canadian. So the GFS seems to be alone on this whole transfer idea, but it is a common thing. So we'll just see how that plays out as we get closer. And when you look at what we call the East Asian theory here, the typhoon roll, go looking toward Christmas week, it is showing a dig that is happening here across the eastern part of the country as we head into the 23rd. There it is, and then certainly by Christmas. That is important because we are setting the stage where it looks to be very similar to what the Deep South just went through. Subtropical jet, a lot of moisture being fed into a southern system. Can the cold Arctic air undercut that and feed into that stretched out band of rainfall and turn into a band of frozen precipitation on the northern fringe? It's possible. It is certainly possible. And GFS has been hinting at it, but even the Euro ensembles are hinting at it. It's a matter of the details, and that far out, we just don't have them. But at least on the ensembles, we can see there's good agreement of that cold Arctic air at play to the north. We just have to figure out, is there going to be a system here to the south for it to bump into? And that would put us very close to Christmas. And the reason why I have freezing rain and a snowflake there is one to watch, is I'm not saying it could be all snow either. That's not exactly good news. Stay tuned. We'll see how it looks coming up tomorrow.